Welcome back for another exciting battle report brought to you by Gaming Grotz. Today we'll be battling it out over the mission Apex Predators. Today we are also still fighting over our Winter Wasteland. We've got some new runes out everywhere. And then we've got 3 objectives to fight over, kind of going diagonally across the middle. So we got the first one in the corner over here by some ruins. Right out in the middle. And then over by the bell tower here. So Jesse and I will be deploying in the opposite corners where there are not objectives. And in today's mission in Apex Predators, only leaders are able to secure the objectives. So it's going to be exciting to see what these leaders are able to do and how we can keep them surviving on these objectives. All right, let's get into those armies. All right, what do you have for us today, Jesse?
All right, so my general is a Snatch Boss on Sludge Striker, so that's going to be my custom one there. He is equipped with the artifact Arcane Tome, and I've given him Sneaky Miasma. What's really cool about it is if he does get it off, then he can get a free move. That plus Fast Done, I can potentially get him to move 3 times a turn, which is kind of cool, get him to where I need to be. His command trait is Super Sneaky, so that allows me to basically deep strike one of my units at the beginning of the game. It's a little bit better than it because you can still move after you do it. I've also got a second Snatch Boss. That's just basic bare bones, not the named character or anything like that. And then my other 2 characters is 2 Shamans. They're both just equipped with Nasty Hex. Doubt I'll be using any spells on them. I kind of just want to give the potions to my bigger units there. For my battle line, I've got 2 units of 9 Man-Skewer Bolt Boys. I've fallen in love with these units. They hit like trucks. I can't speak highly enough about them. For my screens, I've also brought 2 units of Gut Rippers, so 2 10-man units of them, and then also a unit of Hobgrot Sleddas just to fill out the points. And that brings us to 2,000 right on the nose.
Awesome. That's going to be very scary indeed. 19 Bolt Boys. And what makes them battle line for you, Jesse?
So being big yellers makes them battle line essentially. So I've got 2 units of the Gut Rippers as battle line and then 2 units of the Man Skewers as battle line.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's check out their opponent today. All right. Facing off against the Gut Rippers today, we have Clan Pestilence. I'm a really big fan of Skaven. I like to play around with some of the just like doing pure clan lists, like so. In 2nd edition, Plague Monks were really good and a little bit overpowered with what they could do. They used to be able to go up to a unit of 40, and you could do that with a lot of units. So now with the restrictions on reinforcement points, I can only get 2 squads of 30 Plague Monks in my list currently. But we still have 120 Plague Monks, which is a lot of bodies. So hopefully we can do some shenanigans with them because we got to get through those Bolt Boys. But starting it off, leading my army is my Grey Seer on Screaming Bell. He is my general for today. He's taking the spell Death Frenzy, which allows me to cast on one of my units of Skaven Tide, and if they die, they can still pile in and attack after doing so, which will be really great on Plague Monks. His artifact of power is the Skaven Brew, which is a really popular choice for Skaven players. He gets to pick a unit and it suffers D3 mortal wounds, but then their unit gets +1 to their attacks until my next phase. Until my next hero phase, I believe it is. His command trait is Master of Magic, so he gets to reroll 1 of his potential cast rolls, which will be really helpful because I'm taking the Warp Lightning Vortex Endless spell today, which is again a very powerful and popular choice for Skaven players, but it will really help me out to do some mortal wounds and potentially hold up those Sludge Rakers from getting too close to me. Alongside him, I have 2 Plague Priests on Plague Furnaces. The guys on the right and left of him. These guys are both just bare bones. Taking the extra prayer for them, they both have the prayer curse. This allows me to pick one of Jesse's units, curse it, and then any of my attacks to hit on 6s deal mortal wounds. So it can be really strong and help out my guys who don't have any rend or anything like that. Then I also have a Plague Priest on foot down in the middle here, and he also has cursed. And just to again make sure I have it on lots of my different priests so I can get it going in any part of the map. and it only has a 9-inch range, so you got to get pretty close just to utilize it. Otherwise, all Plague Priests come with their 2 stock built-in prayer abilities, and then with also the other neutral prayer abilities, I've got a lot of choice with what my priest can do. All right, and then as I said, I have 2 30 squad Plague Monks, and then 6 10-man units of Plague Monks. Really just lots of chaff, but hopefully with the gnaw holes that I get to deploy, I'll be able to do some like teleporting shenanigans and potentially get behind Jesse. All right, let's get into deployment. Okay, so after deployment, we have my Skaven kind of tucked in the corner over here. Got lots of my 10-man units, just kind of trying to protect from some screen. My 2 Plague Furnaces are on the right here. One of my big 30 blobs near my gnaw hole, another 10-man unit by the gnaw hole, and then my general and my Plague Priest just tucked in there on foot is by the gnaw hole, and then my second 30 blob is on my right flank here. So Jesse had 1 less drop than I did. I had 2 1-drops and a single unit to play, so I had 3 drops, and then Jesse had 2 drops only. So he got turn priority, and he decided to go first, and he's already done his super sneaky, which he's come and snuck on this objective here, kind of close to my lines. And then he's deployed. He's got his Gut Rippers up front, Bolt Boys by his Sledge-Raker General, and a Shaman, other Bolt Boys and the Shaman, and then his Grotz trying to stop any Skaven from coming through that knot hole there.
No thank you.
Yeah. Alright, and Jesse being Kruleboyz, so before the first turn begins, he gets to enact a dirty trick. What's your dirty trick today,
So I'm going to be
Jesse?
trying to do Disappearing Act, and basically I'm going to roll 3 dice. Any 4 pluses, I can pick a unit to try and make them run away from the battlefield for a turn.
Right, and it has to be ones that haven't been reinforced.
Yeah,
correct?
they cannot be units that are reinforced.
So any of my 10-man units here. So let's roll.
So we got 3.
3. So 3 of my 10-man units are going off the board and have to come in.
So I do have to make a roll. If I roll a 1, it fails.
Oh, okay, cool.
So this unit I'll do. So they're
good.
running. I'm going to do that unit there.
Okay.
And it
That
fails.
fails.
And then I'll do the unit in the front there.
Perfect.
So it
And
goes
that
off.
one's good. All right, so we'll get those guys cleared off, and then we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, now that we did the super sneaky move, so the 2 units, the one on top of the ruins there, and then also in front of my screen. So 2 of my 10-man units are going back into reserve. All right, so we're going to get into turn 1 for the Kruleboyz, and what's your heroic action going to be, Jesse?
So I'm just going to be trying to get a command point on my far Sledge-Raker there.
Perfect. All right, let's see it.
Gets it.
He gets a command point, and then I'm just going to get a command point on my Plague Furnace on the left here.
Yep.
He gets it as well.
Cool.
All right, and what's your battle tactic going to be?
So I'm going to do Ferocious Advance.
Ferocious Advance, so he's going to pick 3 units, I'm guessing.
I'm going to pick...
Gut Rippers.
Yeah, I think we're going to do the... this blob here, actually.
And just move up there?
Yep.
All right, and then any casting to do?
I do have a couple, but I am going to think about it real quick.
All right, we'll be back.
Alright, so first I'm going to be trying to cast Sneaky Miasma on my General. He can do it because he's got Arcane Tome, and it allows me to get a free move, basically. So that goes off.
Perfect.
Would you like to try to deny if you check here?
No, it's only my Grace here way in the back there.
Okay,
so it's
no.
going to be out of range.
And then the other thing I have to do is, so Shaman's going to give a potion for damage to the Bolt Boys here.
Perfect.
And then the other Shaman will give 1 to these Bolt Boys as well.
Perfect. So yeah, they get the extra.
So on 5s and 6s, they do mortal wounds instead of just 6s.
Awesome. Very, very scary. All right. So we're going to get into Kruleboyz turn 1 movement, and we'll see where everything ends up. Okay, so after Kruleboyz movement phase, Jesse's kind of just maneuvered this hero here just back a bit, because again, since leaders are the only ones who can secure the objectives, got to stay within 3 inches instead of your normal 6 inches for your this mission pack. Gut Rippers moving up here along the side to reinforce the boss. Bolt Boys behind with one of the Shamans. The Grotz just kind of moving a little bit closer to the other gnaw hole and still blocking this one well. And then his 3 units advanced up here behind his general, getting him his ferocious advance and securing that battle tactic. And then his general has gotten with that extra move right up into position, securing the center, and it's going to get Jesse some awesome points here for turn 1. Alright, we'll go into Kruleboyz shooting. Alright, well that was a really quick shooting phase everything. We forgot Jesse has advanced with everything in his army there, so that's going to be it for Kruleboyz turn 1. Just getting nice and snug into position, and going to get himself 5 victory points this turn, because he has secured 1 objective, 2 objectives, and has more objectives than I. And he has also completed his battle tactic for 2 points, getting Jesse those 5 awesome points for turn 1. Alright, let's go to Skaven, turn 1. Okay, so Skaven, turn 1 hero phase. My battle tactic for this turn is going to be Ferocious Advance. So I'm just going to kind of advance in the corner here with my Gracier, my Plague Priest on foot, and then my 1 10-man unit kind of sitting in the corner here. And then we're also going to do some casting. So we're going to start with Death Frenzy on my 30 blob around the knot here from my Gracier. He's going to get that with a 6.
Maybe.
Maybe? Let's see if Jesse's in range to my mind. He's definitely in range.
Let's go for it.
And it's going to tie it with a 6. Let's just 1 second double check that. Oh, welcome back. So yes, I did roll a 6 and Death Frenzy goes off on a 7, but I do get +1 to my casting from being within 1 inch of the knot hole. So that does go off onto my 30 blob, and then he's also going to try and get off a Mystic Shield onto them as well. So look for that 5. Nope. He does get to Master of Magic, reroll 1 cast, and he's going to get a 3 again. Alright. And then my priests are going to try and do some prayers. So my first big Plague Furnace, he's going to try and put Rabid on the black squad, which gives them +1 attack. I need a 3+ for this. So that goes off. So they have +1 attack. And then my other priest is going to try and put Filth on them, which will give them +1 to their wound rolls. That does not go off. Alright. And my Plague Priest on foot, he's going to also try and give them Bless, which is one of the neutral abilities. So I believe it's on a 4+, give them a 6-up ward. He's not going to get that either. Okay, so that's it for priests. And then we'll come back after Skaven turn 1 movement phase. Okay, after Skaven turn 1 movement, moved up a bunch of my Plagueman screens here on the side, getting ready to kind of charge into the middle, and possibly moving over into the left and just helping protect with some more 10-man screen walls that Jesse might have to work through. After my movement phase, was able to bring back the 2 10-man units that Jesse super sneakied off. So 1 unit popped up close to my Plague Furnace here, had to stay 9 away from any of Jesse's units and wholly within my territory. And then the other unit came back on top of the ruins here. Put my 30 blob through the knot hole that was juiced up with the extra prayers, or with the extra attack prayer. Went through the portal here, and then also forgot to mention that we did the Gracier's Peeling Doom ability, where he rings his bell and he gets a unique ability. I rolled a 4, which just gave him extra movement, which wasn't really helpful because he was just staying in the corner there, and they advanced slightly, getting me my Ferocious Advance battle tactic. But still really helpful, helping me get that battle tactic. Plague Furnace had to do the auto advance to make sure he could get into range and secure this objective on the corner here. And then the other 30 blob advance and moving up. Hopefully, if I get the double turn, might be able to get them in. And my other 30 unit has teleported nicely to kind of charge in and try and take out Jesse's general there. And if we can get lucky, the bell from the Skaven unit gives them +1 to their charge rolls. We only need an 8 on the charge roll with a reroll, hopefully being able to get in there and get a good pile in and get a lot of shots off onto him. Plague Furnace going down into the middle here, hoping to, again, needs a bit of a long bomb charge, but if he can get that off and get in there, he'll be in range to help secure that objective this turn and get me those 2 extra victory points. Alright, so we'll go into charge phase because I have no shooting attacks with my Skaven army today. So we're going to go right into the charge phase here, and we'll come back to you. Okay, so we're gonna show off the 30-man attempt into Jesse's general here. Let's see what we can get. We're looking for that 8.
Ooh.
We get a 10, and we are gonna take it, and we get +1, so we're gonna get 11 inches. So that's gonna be a really good pile in there. We're not gonna show you guys any of the other charges because they're pretty negligible, but we'll get back to you after we see some pile-ins. All right, so after charges were done, the only charge I did end up getting was the 30-man unit. All my other 10-mans failed. My plague furnace failed. So we went ahead and charged in there. Jesse was able to unleash hell with just one single bolt boy, but that bolt boy managed to do 4 mortal wounds with his shots, killing 4 of my guys instantly. But with Death Frenzy, they were able to pile in and actually do 3 damage to Jesse's general before we even got into the combat phase there. So Jesse gets to do a monstrous action against them. What are you going to do against them, Jesse?
I'm going to try and roar them there.
Okay, yeah, awesome. So Jesse's going to roar and doesn't go off. All right, so then my guys are getting +1 to hit because of their Skaven benefit, strength in numbers, because there's 20 or more of them, they get +1 to hit. If there were still 30 of them, they would get +1 to wound. But I'm going to go ahead and use my... oh man, I can't even think of it. My Triumph, excuse me, to give them +1 to wound, so they're going to be hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s, and 6s to wound count as 2 wounds.
I will be using all-out defense for my general as
Yep,
well.
absolutely. My guys don't have any ram, but it is just going to be a bucket of dice with each of them getting 4 attacks each. It's going to be 92 attacks for these guys. So here we go. The first wave, hitting on 2s. Reroll that guy. So I'm just going to get rid of all these 1s. There's no one. Oh, there's one. I think that's all of them. First one. Ooh. Just a few dice, and then wounding on 3s, 6s are even better. So take out all the bad stuff, and then count these 6s extra. Oh, there's 1. Okay, so we got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 19, 23, and then 25. 33 wounds so far for the general.
And that's only the first batch.
Only the first batch, so we'll even just roll it out because this is how I like to show off how Plague Monks can be just so devastating. And if I had Curse on them as well, they would be doing some mortal wounds on top of all this.
Probably would have been dead.
Yeah, probably would have insta-killed them there, so I gotta take out 4 of these. So. And then let's roll it. Alright, so 2s. For those 1s. Drop 1. And then hitting on... wounding on 3s thanks to my Triumph. And 6s are better. Take out those 1s and 2s. Alright, so... a lot of 6s this time. And oh, get out of those guys. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, and then we're gonna get 17, 23 more. So that is 23, 33. So it's gonna be 56 saves for Jesse's general. On a 3+, let's see what he can do. Give us a second. We'll be right back. All right, as expected, we did all those saves off camera because very quickly the Sledrigger General Boss was overwhelmed by the Plague Monk stabs and he succumbed to his wounds. Now the Gut Ripper is able to pile in because I got in too close to them, make sure I got those extra attacks. So we're going to get to do some punches back. And let's see what Jesse can do.
Alright, so we are going to use all-out attack on them. Why not?
Yep.
So hitting on 3s, moving on 4s, but I'm kind of looking for 6s here.
Got it. I'm going to use all-out defense because I didn't have to use all-out attack.
So 1 mortal wound so far.
Okay.
And then 2 saves for me.
Perfect. 2 saves. Just looking for 6s. Nope. So I'm going to lose 3 Plague Monks total. They're going to get to pile in and punch again now. And they're also going to get to do their Plague ability, which we did do against the General previously for the first 4 that died. Any 6s on death they can give a mortal wound to an enemy unit within 3 inches of them. So let's real quickly, I'm just going to roll those mortal wound rolls for you guys. So that's going to be 1 mortal wound so far into them, and then I'll quickly do those attacks off camera here. Okay, so after that little skirmish by the Gut Rippers following in after their general, Jesse was able to take down three of my Plague Monks, and then after they got to pile in and do their attacks, I brought down 2 Plague Monks with me. So not a bad trade for the Plague Monks. Really great start for them, getting in, only losing 7 so far and getting rid of Jesse's general. But unless I get the double turn here, they're probably about to get shot off by those Bolt Boys, but we'll see here. So I'm gonna use a CP to auto pass morale for my guys, and then Jesse was gonna do the same for his Gut Rippers from his Shaman, who's just behind them, just to make sure we don't lose any of them to Bravery. And then we're gonna get right into the roll off here. All right. So Jesse's hoping not to give it up. 6!
Oh, Patrick
that will be the double turn. I will absolutely take that, and we are going to go into Skaven turn 2. Just again, remembering that I got 2 points for my battle tactic, running my guys in the back corner there, and then I'm going to get 1 point for securing this objective here. Since I don't have more than Jesse, and I can't secure that with the Plague Monks, I need to get a hero there. Hopefully now that I have turn 2 priority, we can do that. Alright, we'll be back with Skaven turn 2. Okay, so Skaven hero phase, you're going to start off, battle tactic is going to be aggressive expansion, so trying to secure 2 objective markers that are not wholly within my territory, so counting the one I already have, and then going to try and get that one in the middle there. Then going into some casting, my Grace here is going to do Death Frenzy onto the Plague Monk sitting back here with him, so look for that 7, gets it on a 9, you're going to deny...
don't think I have any.
Yeah, he's out of range.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mystic Shield them as well. Gets that with an 8. That's it for his casting. And then you got to do his Peel of Doom. I guess I should have done that first because he might get plus to his cast. And we'll double check that guy real quick. Alright, so rolling an 8 would be his Apocalyptic Doom, so anything within his Peel of Doom range, which top bracket is 26 inches, which I have nothing in range of my Grace here currently. On a 4+, they would have suffered D3 mortal wounds, which can be pretty good if he's in the thick of it, and might have been able to get like Jesse's whole army if he was the one up in the center there instead of my Plague Furnace. But alright, going into some prayers. My Plague Priest on foot here is just going to try and bless the guys in the back here. 4+, so they have a 6-up ward, and then well, you can double check that too. And then for the plague furnaces, starting on this one here, he's going to do. What do we want to do there? Gonna try for Rabid. Yeah, Rabid. So looking for a 3. Gets the 6. All right, so. Clan Pestilence, unique ability for Skaven. When one of their Plague Priests is casting a prayer, if I get a 6, I get to enact one of my Great Plagues. So it can be a really cool thing, but a lot of them you got to be within 13 inches. So being it was this guy over here, I don't have a lot to choose from, so I'm going to choose the Never Plague, which now allows all my Plague Priests to reroll their prayer rolls for the rest of the game, which is still a really awesome thing. So those guys are going to get +1 attack, and then the other Plague Priest on the Furnace is going to give them Filth. Ooh. And that's going to go off as well. That out there. And so we have Rabid and Filth on this squad, giving them +1 attack and +1 to their wound roll, because they're probably going to lose some on the charge potentially to Unleash Hell, so I just want to make sure they get to keep that, even though they get +1 to wound for being a squad of 30 via strength of numbers. Alright, so now we're going to go into Skaven turn 2 movement phase. Okay, so after Skaven turn 2 movement phase, Screaming Bell auto ran 6 to get out from under those runes. He had guys near him at the start of the movement phase, so he was able to move. Plague Priest on foot sitting back there, possibly teasing Jesse that he might go through a gnaw hole. His Furnace over here on the right didn't move, still holding that objective. 30 Blob moved up, rest of the Plague Monks are moving up. And my Furnace got into range and has already secured that objective. If my Plague Monks make some charges and get out of the way, he might be able to get in there too. in my hero phase, my Plague Monks, each of the sergeants has a Book of Woe, and they get to possibly dish out some mortal wounds to enemy units within 13 inches. So I was actually able to do some mortal wounds to the Gut Rippers and kill 2 more of them there in the hero phase. Also for our hero actions, Jesse and I both took a command point. Just myself on my Plague Furnace going up the center, and then Jesse on his Shaman in the back there. Jesse also redeployed the Kruleboyz to kind of move up and help protect the Shaman, just because heroes are being extra important in this mission as the only ones able to secure those objectives. Alright, then we're going to get right into Skaven charge phase, and we'll come back after that. Okay, so after the charge phase, we had an amazing charge phase for Clan Pestilence today. The Plague Monks that snuck in the back via the Gnaw hole got right into the Gut Rippers. They rolled a 12, so they got 13 thanks to their bell, making sure they all get in there nice and close to those Gut Rippers. The main big charges, I had to use one of my 10-man squads to charge in and eat the Unleash Hell. Only 6 of them ended up dying to Unleash Hell, so 4 of them are alive and at the rear of those Gut Rippers there. The 30 blob needed a 10-inch charge, and I was able to roll an 11, and the extra inch getting me to a 12 on the charge. Got a bunch of them in there, and then after the pile-in, some more will be able to get in there. Hopefully deal with those Kruleboyz and maybe the Shaman. Another squad of Plague Monks charging in the center here, backing those guys up. And then one of my units over by my Plague Furnace getting a huge long bomb charge again up the stairs and tying up these Gut Rippers, and then the Kruleboyz will be within 3-inch range, so they'll get tied up as well. So really great charge phase for Clan Pestilence today. Let's get into that combat phase. Alright, even just pausing after starting our combat phase there, the 30 blob that was able to pile in and then get a little bit closer, surrounded the Kruleboyz, getting 15 guys into combat, so that was still a whopping 60 attacks thanks to the buff from their curse ability and the extra +1 from charging. So 60 attacks, annihilating those Kruleboyz, and then with 3 guys attacking the Shaman, able to get him down, 4 wounds inflicted on him, and then a couple attacking the Gut Rippers and devastating that unit just a little bit more. So Plague Monks, just insane amount of attacks coming out of these guys. Like that was only half the squad and that's 60 attacks. Like it was just insane. Okay, so end of the combat phase, lots of dice rolling, so we decided to do a lot of that off camera just because Plague Monks, again, as we said many times, so many attacks. Other unit of 10 was able to finish off the Shaman there. The wounded unit of 30 was able to finish off the last Gut Ripper that was in the squad there, clearing out all of the Savage Orcs in the center here, the Gut Rippers in the center here. Unit up on the Ruins, I lost 4 of my Plague Monks. Jesse lost 2 of his Gut Rippers, so they're kind of locked up, but I mistakenly took away some of the ones, and now those Kruleboyz are not tied up. And then in the back corner, the Hobgrot Slitas fought valiantly, but were slaughtered to a man to the unit of Plague Monks, where I lost 2 of my own as well. And then at the end of the turn, just for Battle Shock's sake, these guys are wholly within for the aura effect, so they're okay, and then spending a command point to make my guys in the back there pass. And then Jesse was able to pass his morale as well. And then lastly, I'm going to get 2 points for my battle tactic, securing both the objectives not wholly within my territory, and then score 1, score 2, and score 1 victory point for securing more objectives than my opponent. So I'm going to get 5 victory points for this turn, so bringing me up to 8 to over Jesse's 5 for this turn. All right, now we're going to go into Kruleboyz, turn 2. Alright, so here we are for Kruleboyz turn 2. What's going to be your hero action, Jesse?
So I'm actually going to do Finest Hour on him, I think.
On the Sludge Raker?
Yeah, so
got
just
it?
try and get... actually, you know what? We're going to get a command point because we can't actually leave that objective yet, I don't think.
Yeah, because you want to hold on to that.
So he fails it.
Command point. I'm going to try and get a command point on my Plague Furnace in the center here. He gets a command point. And then your battle tactic...
Yes, I'm going to be trying to kill a battle line unit. Hopefully I'm just going to get an easy one from there.
Yeah, killing that 6-man there.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And then Shaman's going to give them a potion so he can't cast a spell. But any 5s and 6s will do the
mortal wounds instead of just 6s.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so I'll be back after Kruleboyz turn 2 movement phase. Okay, so at the end of the Kruleboyz movement phase, we did some careful measuring, and his Sludge Raker over here on the objective will be able to charge the Plague Monks up there and potentially get that bonus point by slaying the battle line unit with a monster, and still be within range of the objective, just ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And then the Bolt Boys and the Shaman moving around, kind of getting back, but still all of them in rapid fire range to either my Plague Monks by the Nahole or the fresh 30 blob as well. All right, so who are they going to shoot at, Jesse?
Fresh 30 blob.
All right, let's see it. So looking for 5s or 6s. 6s are better.
Ugh. I'm not getting too many 6s today.
Not too many 6s. No, sir. So it's going to be 5 mortal wounds.
And then
2 more straight
2
through,
more.
so another 4 damage. So 9 dead. All right. All right, and then we're going to go into...
I think that's all the shooting I got.
Yep, and then charges. So I guess the Sludge Raker, looking for that 3, just nuts.
Woo! All right.
Perfect, opposite. Awesome. So he's in there. He's actually doing the old, just kind of floating right on that edge of that step in the pillar there. So we're just going to leave him there safely so he doesn't fall down. And then you're going to kick it off with a stomp.
Yeah.
So 2+. So it works. And D3 mortal wounds. So
Nice.
that's going to do 3 mortal wounds and kill 3 of those Plague Monks. So I'll get those guys over there. And then Sludge Raker is going to go in.
So this is his main weapon here. So 1 hit.
1 hit.
1 wound.
Wounds.
So it's going to do flat 3.
3 damage, and that'll finish them off. So, get those guys out of there. And then I'm just going to borrow 6 dice real quick, and they're going to do their explosion. On any 6s, we'll deal a mortal wound to him.
Cool.
So I'm going to do 1 mortal wound.
Alright.
And then that is going to be the end of Kruleboyz turn 2. So he's going to get 1 point for holding this objective, and then 2 points for slaying a battle line unit, and then a bonus point for slaying that battle line unit with a monster, getting him 4 points. So it's going to be 9 for the Kruleboyz, and then 8 for the Skaven after 2 turns. And we will get into a roll-off here for a big priority, turn 3.
Oh!
4. So Kruleboyz will not get the double, but then that's going to allow
Do you want to
Jesse...
give me the objective is the thing.
Yeah, these are not prime objectives in this mission pack, so one of these objectives does get to go away, which is always something really to consider when determining if you're going to be taking turn 3 priority or giving it away, because if you're low on objectives, you may want to potentially give it away just so you get to maintain control of your objectives. So in this case, I think it's okay if I lose it because then my stuff gets to push forward, so I will take the turn, and I'm guessing Jesse's going to take the one in the back corner and make me get over here. All right, so we'll get ready for Skaven turn 3 hero phase. All right, so Skaven turn 3, again, didn't mention at the end of the previous stop, my Skaven unit that got shot up would have spent my last command point for that turn. Auto-passing morale, so didn't have to worry about any of that battle shock for those guys, just in case anyone was wondering. And then, so my heroic action this turn, we're going to try Finest Hour on my Plague Furnace here, see if he can't try and go fight this general, or this Snatcher boss.
Yeah, I'm going to do Finest Hour on him just because I really don't want these Skaven to beat him up. And I need to try and keep him alive.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for my battle tactic, I'm going to do for 2 units wholly within my opponent's territory. So hopefully I should be able to get that done using my still Plague Priest on foot back here. He'll be able to warp through the Nahole, getting me an easy 1 in there. And then as long as those guys survive or I move one of my other blobs, we can definitely get that battle tactic, no problem. Alright, so for the rest of the hero phase, I'm going to see what my Crackle Call is going to be for my Grace here. Always looking for that magical 12 to get me a free Vermin Lord. That's going to be a 5, which is just going to be the extra D6 inch movement for him. So he's going to get to move D6 inches on top of his normal 6-inch move this turn, which actually is going to be pretty good to help him get up and re-secure that middle objective. Alright, then for Cass, he's going to try and do Death Friend, or he's going to do Mystic Shield to start onto the Plague Furnace. Gets it with a 9, or an 8 because he's no longer near the Nahole to get +1.
My shaman.
I think your shaman's in range. Just out of range.
Cool.
So that's going to go off. So Mystic Shield is on my Plague Furnace. And then we're going to do Death Frenzy onto this unit of 10 here. So that goes off with a 7. So those guys get to pile in and attack if they die. And then for my Priest abilities, my Plague Priest just in the back here, he is just going to try and bless himself. So that fails. And then Furnace here. Does he want to give himself? No, he's going to give this unit of 10 +1 attack with Rabid. Oh, so that goes off with a 5. And then the other Plague Furnace in the back, he's just going to try and boost these ones over here is the only thing he has in range. And he's looking for the Filth +1 to wound. So that goes off as well. All right. And then doing my Book of Woes, so anything within 13 inches is just going to be these 2 squads here into the Gut Rippers, and then that squad in the back into the Bolt Boys. So into the Bolt Boys, that's going to be 1 mortal wound. 4s and 5s do a mortal wound. 6s are going to do D3. And then the 2 into the Gut Rippers, so that's going to be 2 mortal wounds for the Gut Rippers. All right, and then we'll be back after Skaven turn 3 movement phase. Alright, so at the end of Skaven turn 3 movement phase, kind of moved everything over to the left to kind of box what Jesse's got left. My Plague Priest on foot that was back in my back corner is teleported through. Plague Monks stayed put because I didn't want to trigger a redeploy. Then I had to move everything up here anyways, so Jesse got that redeploy anyways. Getting a nice 5 inches, so those Bolt Boys making that charge really hard for that one of my wounded larger units to try and close that distance. Unit that was in the center of 10, just moving up the runes, going to get ready to go into those Kruleboyz. Plague Furnace, leaving the center, just moving over, leaving lots of room for my Gracier to get in there with his extra d6 movement. He got a nice 5, so we moved a mighty 11 inches this turn. And then lastly, my unit of Plague Monks supporting my Plague Furnace that got the Rabid extra attack this sequence. Oh, and then these guys in the back here had to move over so my Plague Furnace can actually move again, hopefully next turn and get him into the action again. Alright, so I'm going to do some charges here. So first one is going to be the 10-man unit there. So cool. There you go. They're going to go 3 inches, which is just enough because they even get the +1 from their bell. So they're going to go in there. Is that going to... You'd still be able to overwatch the other guys, eh?
Yeah, because you're only getting to the Gut Ripper.
Yeah. Unless we redeploy or reroll. Let's try for a reroll because I want to see if this unit can get close enough and stop the Bolt Boys from getting overwatch into my larger unit. That's only going to be a 5, which is a 6. I don't think that's going to be enough. Alright, so then we'll just go... Yeah, just measure that quick.
To about there.
Yeah, just because of the stairs. So yeah, so move those guys in a second there, but then we'll just get into the big squad trying to close that distance. I think they need about an 8 it was. So that's going to be a 9 with the +1 is 10. That's going to be more than enough. Alright, let's see that overwatch.
Should get a 2 there.
Yeah, 18.
Oh, sorry, I should be getting an extra one.
Yeah.
There we go, we got some 6s this time.
Yep. That's a lot. Yeah. Oh, that's a lot. That might be the squad. Yeah, that's 12. That's 20. Yeah, 23 mortals this time. That's what the Kruleboyz should have been doing more of this game. So yeah, that 21-man unit that just charged is completely annihilated as they take some crossbows to the face.
Yeah, so just to go over it so people can understand. So my Sludge Striker has the aura that makes them on 6s do an extra mortal wound, and then they also had the potion, so on 5s it's just 2 mortal wounds, and then 6s are 3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, so super wicked combo, having those 2 heroes and then a big unit of Bolt Boys is very devastating, as we just saw. Alright, so that 21-man unit is now dead, and then we're going to do, lastly, I think, I got my Plague Monks and the Furnace here into his Sludge Breaker. So, Furnace, he's going to get in there, and then the Plague Monks, they are definitely going to get in there. Alright, and then we'll be back, and we'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so after the charge phase, I forgot about the Plague Monks by the knothole here. Charged into the Shaman. The 21-man unit, absolutely devastated by that Unleash Hell. 10-man squad up in the ruins fighting the Gut Rippers. And then my other 10-man unit charging into the Sludgebreaker with the Furnace. We already rolled for Jesse's monstrous action, and he needed a Stomp. And that gave him doing 1 mortal wound, killing one of my guys, but we just made a note of him there. So, since I have Death Frenzy, so he's going to get to attack here with his squad. And here we go. It's going to be a mighty attacks. This is 36 with the all out. Oh, sorry. Forgot because I don't have the built-in +1 because I do not have 20 anymore. But we're using all out since we did not get roared. Oh, it's going to be few.
Can't roll these dice.
Yeah, right. I have to do 2 hands here. Alright. First bit. Struggle. Second. Alright, here we go. Now we can count. Oh, it's 4. Get rid of these. So yeah, we're only wounding on 4s because we do not have 30. And we did not get filth. We got rabid. And 1 more. Ooh, lots of 6s, so those count for 2. So it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and then 14 here, because times 2. So a grand total of 23 saves for the Sludgebreaker.
20 here.
Yeah.
All at defense.
Yep. Absolutely, he's getting hit by both, so he goes to a 3-up. Oh,
A little bit better than last
really
time.
Really good. So he's only going to take 4
And then we got
there.
3 more.
Oh.
This takes 5 in total.
5 total. Yep. So only had 6 on him, and then we're going to get to see return. Oh, and then I guess I forgot the 1. My friends, we got to go quick. 4 hits, 4s. So just 2 more saves. So we've got to add that into the 30. Ooh, 2 more from that guy. Good for him. All right, and then it's going to be Kruleboyz choice.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with my Shaman, actually.
Shaman, try and thin the ranks up here.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So, with his staff, 2 attacks, 3s and 3s.
Right.
1 hit. 1 wound. Minus 1.
So go straight through.
D3 damage for 2.
2, so it's going to kill 2.
And then move backup stabber, which is 4s and 4s. So that's just mortal wound.
1, and
That's
that'll kill 1. Alright, so they're their mortal wounds in close combat, so 3. No mortal wounds. Alright, and then we're going to go with the Plague Furnace. So he's got the really nasty, his just giant Plague Furnace that you see modeled on him. He gets to just swing that into someone, and it's an innate 2+ roll. And at top bracket, it's going to be D3 plus 4 mortal wounds if I get a 2+. Boom. So it does go off. So it's going to be D3 plus 4 for 7 mortal wounds.
I think that'll kill him.
And yeah, he's got 8 on him total, so that will kill the Sludgebreaker.
Bonked by the bell.
Bonked
that
by
furnace.
the big Plague Furnace.
It's going to grab you that
All
objective, too, since you killed him.
Absolutely. Alright, so we dealt with him. We got the objective. Now it's going to be Gut Rippers trying to kill these Plague Monks in the room here.
Just pile them in.
Pile in, everyone will get in there. Perfect. Alright.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So 15 because 2 each plus the Sarge.
Looking for 6s, but we'll take some 4s as well.
Oh, there's some 6s.
So he'll just be 1 mortal wound now.
Yeah.
4s. And then 2 saves.
Okay, so just 6-up saves. Oh, so
Block
stop
something.
1, so it's going to be 5 Plague Monks dead there. And then we'll roll their mortal wound return.
2.
So it's going to be 2 mortal wounds back, killing another Gut Ripper. dead. Get those guys out of there. And then we'll do our 5 attacks back. Alright, so after that combat phase, I was able to do a couple of wounds to the shaman there with my plague monks up here. Plague monks killed a couple more of the gut rippers, and then as you saw, the plague furnace successfully dealt with the sludge raker with the help of his plague monk buddies. So pretty good turn, and then everybody is in range of the plague furnace's auto pass. So my guys here, these units that lost a couple of plague monks, they don't have to worry about morale. And then Jesse's going to spend one of his command points again to just auto pass his gut rippers, so we don't have to worry about bravery. I don't think we've had to roll for any bravery.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, either just pass them or they've been in range of
or
my
killed.
Great Horn protection. All right, so that is going to be it for Skaven turn 3. I am going to secure my battle tactic for having 2 units wholly within my opponent's territory, which is my 1 unit of Plague Monks fighting the Shaman and the Plague Priest on foot. And then I have both the objective in the center and now the one in the bottom left corner of the map. And this will give me score 1 point for one location, 2 points for a second location, and a third point for having more objectives than my opponent. So that'll be another great turn of 5 points for me. So that'll put me to 13 to Jesse's 9. And then we're going to go into Kruleboyz turn 3. All right, so for Kruleboyz turn 3, what's your battle tactic going to be, Jesse?
So I'm taking the Kruleboyz one called Take That Suckers. So I got to do basically 10 wounds without taking 10 damage.
Awesome. All right.
For battle tactic or for the heroic action, I'm going to try and just get a command point on my last shaman.
Yep. So he gets it on a 2+ now because of his general being dead. He gets a +2 to that roll.
Yep.
I'm going to use, I guess, just a command point on my plague furnace here. Gets it as well. So he's got a CP, and then potion into.
So he can't actually do the potion because he's in combat. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Can't do it if he's within 3. If these guys are within, yeah, so they're out. So yeah, no potions.
So you want to do.
So I'm gonna try and do. We'll try and give him Mystic Shield then. How about
Perfect.
that?
Oh, gets it. I see a 6. So
yeah,
it is good. I'm definitely in range. I can try
Might
for.
as well try, yeah.
Look for that 12. No 12.
Close.
All right, and then we'll get into Kruleboyz turn 3 movement phase. All right, Jesse's getting his dice ready, but end of the movement phase there for Kruleboyz. So both boys again moving back. Shaman pulled out of combat from the Plague Monks. Kruleboyz pulling back to help kind of a little bit of a screen for the Shaman, potentially for the follow-up turn. And then Jesse's going to split shoot with his bolt boys here. So he's going to put 6 into my Plague Furnace and then 3 into the 9-man unit here. So try and deal with these 2 guys on this objective. All right, so start with the Plague Furnace.
This is actually the...
Plague Monk, sorry.
Yeah. So just nothing crazy. And then so
2 straight through, so 4 damage.
That's correct.
Get 4 of those guys. And then the big shot into the Plague Furnace.
1 6. So -2.
-2.
Or -1. Sorry.
-1. So he's got the Mystic Shield, so he's still got his normal save, so 4+, and then 2 damage. So 4 damage on him so far, and he's got a 5+ ward save. So he's going to take 3 damage blocking one of those.
Cool.
So 3 damage on my Plague Furnace. Perfect. All right, and since those guys pulled back, unless Jesse wants to charge with those bolt boys,
Kinda want to, but
kind of thinking about it.
So like, if I'm not gonna kill the Plague Furnace, it's gonna probably kill me. So I'm just gonna try and hope for some 6s here. And
All right, here we go.
the big play.
Going into the Plague Furnace. That's a 9. All right, we'll show you where they end up. All right, so after charging in, here's where the bolt boys ended up. Gonna end up tagging both of my units, but they definitely get to go first. So let's see if they can end this Plague Furnace.
Last ditch effort.
Oh, see,
Not looking so hot.
Not looking good. Only 1 6. So 3 saves.
Yep.
+1, -1. So 4 ups. Sums 2 of those. So 4 damage going through. And then he has his 5+ ward save. And he stops it.
No!
Oh, unfortunately. Oh boy.
That might stop me from my battle tactic, honestly. We'll
Yeah,
have to calculate that real quick.
Yeah, because we did 3 damage to him and then 5 so far.
So
yeah, you didn't even do 10.
I'm lacking.
Uh-oh. That might...
Looking grim.
Not looking good. All right, we'll start with this big plague swing. So 2+ hits. So it's D3 plus 4 mortal wounds. That's going to be 6 mortal wounds. So that's 3 dead bolt boys. Gets 6 attacks with his Plague Monk Entourage. This one's modeled with a Rat Ogre just because I like to make my Plague Furnaces look different. So he's going to hit on 4s with those. Ooh, just one guy. 4s again. So 1 wound, no save, or no rend, sorry. Ooh, 6.
Hey, he blocks it.
And then his Rusty Spikes, he gets D6 attacks with those for 6. He's not bracketed yet, so he gets to hit on 2s here. Those all hit. And then he's going to wound on 3s for 6 wounds, -1.
That's straight through.
So that's going to just kill 3 of them. And then his Warpstone Tip Staff misses. Alright, and then my Plague Monks will get to pile in. There's going to be 5 of them. They have Rabid, or the +1 attack, but they didn't charge this attack sequence, so this is just going to get 15 attacks on 5 guys. Still pretty rude. Hitting on 3s, or I guess this is end of the turn. I can use command point, my last command point for all out attack. Hit on 2s. That's good. 2s definitely helped. And then 4s. 6s are better.
Nice.
There's those 6s. So those 6 are 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 wounds. No rend.
No rend. That's 8, 9, 10, 11.
Stop 3.
I think they are
So
very
4
sad
more.
bolt boys.
Oh, and then unfortunately the bolt boys
they go in.
have been annihilated.
Last ditch effort.
And that will be the end of Kruleboyz turn 3. And unfortunately, with that, getting those guys smashed, and that insane ward save by my Plague Furnace, Jesse has failed his battle tactic, so he doesn't get the 2 points for that. And then he doesn't have any of the objectives, so that is going to be it for Kruleboyz turn 3. So the score is still 13-9. And I mean, I guess we can roll for priority here and see what we get. So it's a 2, and I win ties, so yeah. I would take it.
I think
and that'll definitely end it here today. So the final score, just including for grand strategies, because I would be able to wipe this out, I would get another +3 points for my grand strategy, bringing a final score of 16-9 if we weren't to do up the points for the last 2 turns. But still a really great effort by the Kruleboyz today. Unfortunately, those bolt boys just weren't hitting like they normally like to do. Normally they do hit a lot more like that Unleash Hell roll I have seen previously when Jesse uses them. And just getting on average around like 20 mortal wounds is just an insane amount of output from that 9-man unit for 1 CP on the charge. Just really, really awesome. And again, Plague Monks I think are just still really, really strong, even in 3rd edition, now that they can't go to a 40-man unit. That just cuts down on the ridiculousness of them. But maybe Clan Pestilence is too many Plague Monks, but certainly bringing like a 30 Blob and a Plague Furnace and like a Master Clan list is definitely something to watch out for, because as you saw today, the amount of attacks they can get off is just devastating. And I never ended up using my Skaven Brew. If I used it turn 1, it was still overkill, but that would have been 5 attacks per model on the 30-man unit, getting me up to 100. Oh, I guess D3 of them would die. So anywhere from 135 to 145 attacks is just
hitting on 2s.
Hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s. If Curse was involved, 6s are mortal wounds to hit, and then 6s to wound count as 2 wounds. It's just a crazy combination. But yeah, still whittled through a lot of them. I have like 25... 34, 9, oh, and then 10 over there. So I have 49 left out of my 120 starting plague monk count. So that's a lot of bodies to get through for these Kruleboyz. But again, thank you guys for watching the battle report. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're in London, always check out game night. And happy gaming, everyone.
See you later, guys.